She keeps eating the chicken off the twist and leaving the twist. So I got to wait until she's in a spunky mood. And then I got to put the twist in. I know I promised you guys I was going to come from StreamYard so we could, watch some things and everything like that. You guys know I got a new computer. Well, my sound card that works fine with, well, not all fine, but I have problems with it on the MacBook. But the new computer, none of my sound effects are working. When I applause and, all the other stuff. What are you doing? Did you already eat the chicken off that? You still got a whole lot of chicken left on that one. So she eats the chicken off the twist and leaves the twist. She ends up eating the twist, but right now she's in the process of eating another one because I noticed that she hid this under her. She has this habit of hiding it in her blanket. It's nice to see you guys this evening again. I'm sorry I didn't come from the office. I was in there for like an hour resetting the computer, going through all the settings. Everything seems like it's hooked up right, but it's not playing. So I've got to do some more technical stuff to it, but I was getting frustrated and I'm just like, screw it. At this point, Delilah had just gotten into just about everything in the office. She didn't tear anything, but she was sniffing on everything. I don't know. Anyways, guys, I'm not going to bore you with the details. It's nice to see you all this evening. Karma, Kim, Tulips, it's nice to see you. Pam, Princess, Donna, it's nice to see you. Spirit Mystic, it's nice to see you. Outer Banks is up in the house. Me and you, it's nice to see you. Our beautiful Southern is up in the house. Southern Grammy Wolf. Chris, it's nice to see you. DNA, Kendra, Samantha. Before you get under the covers, say hi to everybody. Everybody wants to see the baby. Hi, guys. I've been hanging out with my mommy all day. I will not leave her side for whatever reason. I think it's because I missed her so much. So I have laid in her laps and there she is. All right, she's going to get under the covers now. So let me adjust the camera just a little bit while she goes and settles down. I have to tell you, she literally sat on top of me all day today, just loving on me. Okay, all right, get settled. You settled? All right, I think we might be good, folks. I think we might be good. Kendra, it's nice to see you. Chris, Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy is up in the house. Natalie, the Hen House, it's nice to see you. Mally Cat, Patricia, Tammy, our beautiful Sweet Misery. If you guys have not seen, I did some posts. We always try to support families, small businesses, and stuff like that. And there's one thing I absolutely love. Not only because of the prices, but I absolutely love Avon. Avon has just about everything you can imagine, from skincare products to lipstick to other types of makeup, skincare routines. There's a whole bunch on Avon that I think everybody will love and afford. Don't forget, if you can, go over to our Facebook group. I did make a post of the 2 product lines, and if you guys are Avon fanatics, please get over there and hit that up. It's nice to see you. One Sock, it's nice to see you. Seth, Denise, I hope you're doing well, Seth. I'm doing okay. Today was kind of a flop day. It was unloading vehicles, washing clothes, the whole gamut. I didn't get the starter in, and I ended up spending a little bit of time arguing with the doofus. So that was my day. And then I had a lot of love from my little jelly bean. Susan, it's nice to see you. Sheila, Ginger, Sophery, it's nice to see you. Ginger Girl, Stacy, Libby. Oh, Melly Cat gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, please don't forget to tell Melly Cat it. Thank you. Who is the winner? Oh, Spirit Mystic. It's nice to see you. Barbosa's up in the house. It's nice to see you, Barbosa. Princess, I think I said hi to you, but you might be a different one. Titch, it's nice to see you. Echo, Doreen, Renee, it's nice to see you. Diana, Brown Eye Girl, Brownie Girl. You can smack me later. Reach for the Sky. It's nice to see you, polished girl in Vegas. Juicy Jules, it's nice to see you. And everybody else, hey Ren, Crime Story Diva, it's nice to see you. Oh, Cynthia's in the house. It's nice to see you, my love. Tippy Toe. Good evening, guys. Good evening. So we have, I'm just going to scroll down. Thank you all. We'll get to you guys in just a little bit. If I missed you, this is a big welcome to the coffee club. Don't forget to hit that like button coming on into the chat. And if you like me and you haven't subbed up, sub up. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? We're only 4,000 subscribers away from the big 4-0. The big 4-0. So if you haven't hit me up yet, please hit me up. It's a great day to do that. So we're on the case of Sebastian Rogers. He's a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and has not been seen or heard from since. But before we start talking about the new, the breaking news information that's been coming out that we're learning from Nick the Hat, well, I guess he's been silenced. So his partner in crime, right? Hong. So give me just a minute, because before we get there, there's some other information that I wanted to bring up on some other cases that we're covering that I think are very important. And one is about Madalina Cojocari. We went out to her house at the time. We went out there to learn about this case and see the lay of the land, go by the house, go by her middle school. You know, I was able to talk to somebody from the middle school there that kind of filled me in on some of the information that they had. And it really was bizarre about how many times the school had gone out to the house before they finally told the mom, if you do not produce this child, we're going to be, oh, thank you, Spear Mystic. Gifted 1 Bullhorn Betty membership, Deanna. It's good to see you. Oh, and be Betty fan and all my mod squads up in the house. It's nice to see you, Steffers and Izzy Girl and Sadie. Good evening to you guys. Good evening. Well, apparently, her mother, remember, she's been missing. Been missing since November 2023. And her mother heads back to Europe. Another great parenting, mom and stepfather ordeal here. She gets off her school bus and has never seen or heard again after she made it home. There's been a lot of people saying, you know, that her mom comes from a different country and came over here, you know, married. It seems like, according to Chris Palmater, that their relationship was more of an agreement, so to speak. He leaves town, her daughter goes missing, one of these weird things where nobody knows where anybody is, but mommy was home all by herself. And they're talking about a big bag of money that she might have been, you know, HT'd and you know, so I don't know. There's just too many moving parts in this case to make heads or tails, but we definitely know that the mom and the stepfather smelled a high heaven. They were in jail. One was in jail for almost 2 years. One was in jail for 18 months. The stepfather gets out first. The mom finally serves her term and is finally released from jail and now is going back to Europe. That is number one. Now, number two is there has been a ruling on Bryan Kohberger's case. So I wanted to go over some information related to that before we get started on going over the new information that we have learned just this afternoon, breaking information. So this is what it is. We've got a new judge that's going to be assigned to this case. Bryan Kohberger is on his way over to the Ada County Jail, and it is going to be officially moved over to Ada County. And I tried to explain, I felt like this was going to end up happening because Moscow is just incredibly too small. This case is a worldwide case, and it just doesn't seem conducive for the type of trial we're going to have when it comes to Bryan Kohberger. So I wanted to read this to you. This is being reported by CNN. It says the trial against Bryan Kohberger, the man charged with the killing of 4 University of Idaho students in 2022, will be moved to the county surrounding the state capital of Boise The Idaho Supreme Court ruled Thursday. So it sounds like they challenged whatever ruling. It went up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court sided with the defense, and now it's being moved to Boise. District Judge Steve Hepler, or Hippler rather, will take on the case in Ada County, the court said. Kohberger will be transferred forthwith to the custody of Ada County Sheriff, the court ruled. Ada County is the most populous in the state, about 525,000 residents, more than 10 times larger than the population of Latah County, according to the U.S. Census. Latah County, the original slated venue for the trial, is more than 200 miles north of Ada County, with both along the western border. The latest development comes days after the previous Judge John Judge of Latah County approved the defense motion to move Kohberger's upcoming murder trial due to concerns of local community in Moscow was prejudiced against him. Considering the undisputed evidence presented by the defense, the extreme nature of the news coverage in this area and the smaller population in Latah, the defense has met the rather low standard of demonstrating reasonable likelihood that prejudicial news coverage would compromise a fair trial in Latah County, the judge wrote in an order Monday. The judge also highlighted logistical issues with holding the trial at Latah County, noting there were not enough county sheriff deputies, court clerks, or courthouse space to accommodate such a big trial. Remember, I brought that up. I brought the logistics of this up. And it's just because we've watched so many trials. Alec Murdaugh, the reason why his venue wasn't changed is because he truly believed that he was going to get a different outcome in his case in the area that his family has ruled over for almost 100 years. It was his choice to stay at that courthouse, from my understanding, if I remember all the details in the Alec Murdaugh murder trials. So this is one where we knew out the gate that this is going to be a huge trial. I mean, we have people coming in from all over the world to monitor this trial in person. We're going to be out there. I'm still trying to decide, because we've had a lot of things going on, and do I really want to be out there for 6 to 8 weeks for the full trial? I'm kind of iffy on that. I think I want to go there at the beginning and maybe travel back 2 or 3 days at the end of the trial to be there for the verdict. And so I'm trying to decide how I personally want to handle this case, because we've been in this case. This is another case that we jumped in with both feet and have been from the ground floor working the case. Now, granted, we got away from it because there was a lot of motion practice in this case, and it was like everything wasn't breaking news when they were having motion practice and stuff like that. So I didn't want to, it was just clogging up. We had a lot of other cases that we needed to get to, and then of course we've got to Sebastian Rogers, which has taken a lot of our time because of the uniqueness of that case and other issues that we're going to be discussing later. So the judge also highlighted the logistical issues. That decision did not specify a new trial location. Instead, the judge referred the case to the administrative director of the courts and the state Supreme Court, then to assign new venue and judge in Thursday's ruling. The defense had asked that the trial be moved to Boise, the capital, the largest city in Idaho. 2 other recent high-profile Idaho cases, murder of Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, were similarly moved to Boise. The ruling Thursday is part of the long-winded road since winding road since 4 University of students, Kaylee Gonzalez, Ethan Chapin, Xander Kernodle, and Madison Mogan, were fatally stabbed in overnight hours of November 13, 2022, at a home just off the school's campus in Moscow, Idaho. Kohberger, a Washington State University graduate in criminology, was arrested in the killings December 30th, 2022. We were there for all of that. I believe we got into town like on the 17th, like 4 or 5 days after this case broke. And we made 2 tours out there. We even had an amazing interview with Kaylee Gonzalez's family. that was really important because a lot of people were wanting them to speculate on who they thought was responsible and stuff like that. And I thought it was too much for us to also put the family through that. So Chronicles and Olivia and I decided we wanted to make it about the girls and about their special bond, and keep it focused on the victims. And that's what we did. And I thought it was one of the most amazing interviews that I had the privilege of being involved in. And it was widely receptive as an amazing interview as well. So a not guilty plea was entered in on his behalf last year, and his attorneys have indicated that he intends to present an alibi as part of his defense. There was a whole thing over the alibi. So it looks like the trial is expected to begin June 2025. Now, I will tell you that the victim's family have been waiting for this date in court for a very long time. I can tell you that it most likely feels like eternity to them. But I'm glad we're getting here. And they said it is expected to last about 3 months. That is one of the reasons why it's going to be so hard for me to just go out there. I think it's going to be good to split the time, go there at the beginning, get the lay of the land when the trial starts, and then also get the verdict. I think that that's really the direction that I think I'm going to go. It'll reduce our costs immensely because we were looking at over $10,000 for this trip. And that was just entirely to, and that's splitting it with other people, so it was just too costly. So we'll figure it out, and we'll get a plan together that's not going to cost the channel so much money. And hopefully we will be out there for justice for these 4 beautiful souls that were taken entirely too soon. Thank you for bearing with me while we got updated on some other cases, but getting back to the breaking news in Sebastian Rogers' case, and I think the breaking news here in Sebastian Rogers' case is we are not the only ones being silenced. I just learned tonight while scrolling through YouTube, I got a notification that Nick the Hat was going on. And when I popped up the live, it was Hong. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? And I could see Nick with tape over his mouth, and it's saying like Team Sebastian or something like that. And I'm just like perplexed as to what is going on. I mean, I did a live earlier, and Nick was telling me about him being silenced and something going on, and he can't talk about the case until Thursday. And so naturally, I'm like, what in the world is going on? And so I hear that it sounds like we'll need to find out, but it sounds like somebody is threatening him, and not just lawsuit, threatening to ruin his life. And so I'm just like, I feel like I'm in a state of deja vu / a Twilight Zone. And come to find out, it's the same people. And I'm just like, do these people, like, where is law enforcement? Are they this incompetent that they cannot see this, that they truly believe these parents, these people are victims? Do they have any clue what these people are doing to other people? Everything that they're writing in affidavits is exactly what they're doing, literally, to other people. And I am just beside myself. And you know what? I keep thinking about Sebastian, and I'm thinking, if these detectives and the people that are investigating Sebastian's case literally think these people are being victimized. Come on, lay down. When they are victimizing other people, I'm just beside myself. Nobody's harassing these people. They're going on people's channels and saying, "Oh, they're harassing me. Quit watching." Quit watching. That's what I say. But to keep going after people's livelihood and trying to get people locked up and trying to have them silenced in America makes you look like a freaking Nazi. So here we go again. Here we go again. When is Sebastian going to be important to these people? That's what I would like to know. When is Sebastian going to be number one in this situation again? Because you know what? I'm not putting tape over my mouth. I mean, everybody knows where I live. If they feel that what I'm doing deserves to be put in jail again, come get me. But this is getting freaking ridiculous. We have a right to criticize. These people were the last one that saw a boy in the flesh and disappeared, and they're trying to silence every one of their critics while they're paying people to trash Seth and set up this situation where nobody can defend Seth. Everybody's got to be so nice to these. I'm not being nice to these people. These people have some damn explaining to do. And then to silence more people. Why? Because we're all following the leads, and the leads are leading us to the same place, and we got Tweedledum and Tweedledee over here saying they're detectives, and they can't see through the bullshit. Excuse my language. Pray for me. Which reminds me, we need to get the daily devotional out. Let's all sit here and bow our heads and pray for Bullhorn Betty in her mouth, okay? Because we're going to have to start the swear jar again. I went off the reservation with the cussing, okay? We're going to have to start the swear jar again. I got to remember which words I can use. But this is getting ridiculous. And it sounds like people are following this through. And every time people follow this case through and aren't brainwashed by a bunch of idiots that call themselves professionals, right? It just seems to me that there's something that's stinking to high heaven here. Absolutely stinking to high heaven. We've got a boy missing. And we've got an entire police department and state investigators kowtowing to the last people that saw this child. The last people that saw this child. And I would like them, it's like I'm almost wanting them to put up or shut up at this point. You know? Because I'm so sick of hearing that there's nothing here, there's nothing here. There's got to be a whole lot here. Let's face it. If there's no sighting of this child walking out of the house, there's no sighting of this child walking down the road, there's light events on the outside of the house. Yeah, you may not have people with smoking guns in their hand, but this is pretty clear on what we're seeing here. And then they're playing victim. Oh my God, we're getting so harassed. Oh my God. Really? Because I have listened to threats to the biological father that he was not going to be able to ever speak again. I know I was threatened to be ran over, punched in the face. Can't wait for something bad to happen to me, remember? Being stalked by team you-know-who. And then now we've got this. I think law enforcement needs to pull their head out of their behind. That's what I think needs to happen. I think they need to come to Jesus, because you can't just keep fighting with everybody that does not agree with your what you think they should be saying, because this, at the end of the day, is America. We have so many freedoms, you know, our laws. I want to clear this up because I know I have law enforcement in here that watches me and spies on me as well. Our laws are not what regulates us, the American people. It's what regulates our policyholders and our lawmakers. Okay? It's what they can and cannot do to us, not the other way around. Just like we don't work for them, they are civil servants to the American people. $1 of federal funds, you work for the entire world, United States. Let me fix that. $1 federal dollar. $1 federal dollar. That's all it takes. So we know federal dollars have been used all over the country. They're not immune to that. I'm not sure how I feel about all this, because these law enforcement bodies are trying so hard to put a plug in criticism. Our freedoms. Our freedoms. The thing that law enforcement is supposed to uphold and protect. The Constitution of the United States of America. As a matter of fact, when they put that badge on, they actually swear an oath of office. Yet they think that one little old family that can't seem to keep her story straight, and they have a right to violate that because they don't like what's coming out of people's mouths on their own channels. I find that highly offensive. Highly offensive. So let's say this. Okay, so anybody that criticizes, you're going to go to jail, okay? They're going to find a way to throw your butt in jail if you don't bow down to what they think you should be saying. They actually think because they're law enforcement, they can prevent people from coming into that community. And if you do, and even if you follow all their laws, if they don't like your commentary, they will lock you up. I have a problem with this type of law enforcement. Please remember the scripture, Ephesians 6:11. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Love you. Love you too, Cal. Thank you. God bless you. And so I'm very, very highly opinionated about this subject matter. I'm very frustrated because all these people can say nasty things about me. You guys watched it. Follow me. Stalk me. Literally follow and stalk. Not this, oh, she drove by my house and videotaped. You know, like legit searching for me, searching for my room, searching for my car, showing up at places they're not invited, showing up to physically harass me, physically hurt me. True stalking. Never done that to a person ever. Never have I ever stated I was going to physically assault somebody or hurt them. Remember back in the day when we started this channel, they said I was so violent. Remember that? Posted up all of my criminal stuff. Bullhorn Betty's violent. Violent, violent, violent. And you have never heard me talk like these channels are talking now. Talking about violence and hurting somebody and physically assaulting them. Physically assaulting them. And then we have Dog's team coming in, giving this case yet again a fair shake, shaking some trees, trying to see the behaviors of some people, and boom, within a very short time, they're seeing the light. Okay, so we have all these people out here that can seem to see the light, but the investigators on the case of Sebastian Rogers, that does not make me feel very warm and fuzzy inside. It surely does not. Betty, did you see the video when you were talking? Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's me, Laura. Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot. And it is so obvious. You're right. And so now we have another team, a national team. One of the what is he, like the... He's done more bounty hunting, or I can't remember how he says, world, like the... I can't remember what he says. The bounty hunter, like a world whatever bounty hunter, right? He's caught more, like, what did he say, like 10,000 fugitives in his career? 10,000 fugitives? It seems to me like nobody wants assistance. They just want us to all go away so they can take their little time. Meanwhile, a father's out here begging for help, searching, not appreciative of being locked out while the counterparts are being informed. Makes you feel, it just makes you feel filthy, like dirty filthy, you know? I can tell you, like I said, I was asked to meet somebody for lunch, and I'm like, Tony's going back. I am not staying in this town alone. I don't trust the people there. I don't trust their government. Shouldn't say that about the judges. The judges are so far been pretty fair. It's everybody else. It truly is everybody else. They're so worried about having such a horrible image that they'd rather throw everybody in jail. That's a concern for me. It's a big concern for me. So here we go again. I thought it was brilliant. I love seeing Nick taped mouth and Hong taking over. I gotta say, you know, Hong brought it. Hong brought it. And it doesn't sound like he really gives a, you know what. Just saying. It is election time, Hen House. But it doesn't, you know, this very bad PR for an election season. You're throwing critics in jail. I mean, that's basically what they're doing, right? If you criticize, you go to jail. If you question, you go to jail. And good God, drive on a public frickin' road. Go to jail. It's bad. All over lies. These people lie through their teeth. We've watched them lie for frickin' 6 months. And now we're watching them lie more while trying to put people behind bars. And law enforcement can't pull their head out of their rear ends. I've been saying for years I do not like Tennessee law. And I'm going to say it again. And when TBI is sick and tired of hearing that come out of Bullhorn Betty's mouth, maybe, just maybe, they'll get a clue. And maybe do something like follow the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children directive. Or hold press conferences. Not leave their communities hanging. Or hey, maybe try a circumstantial case every once in a while and get some of these deranged parents that have done terrible things to their children off your streets. Tennessee needs help. What they need to quit doing is locking people up for their First Amendment rights. That's what they need to do first. Because I'm telling you, you keep throwing YouTubers in jail for First Amendment issues, you're going to have yourself a big old problem. Brenda, I believe it's... Yeah, I don't know who it is. Hi, wear body cam next time you're there. I have everything recorded. It didn't save me because I haven't been before the courts. And we had a sneaky detective doing some unscrupulous things. So, you know, there is that. Sounds like I've been paying off all the sheriffs. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you this is the second major team that's come in here and says this place is stinking to high heaven. So guess what? I believe this place is stinking to high heaven. I'm sorry. It's just how I feel based upon what I'm looking at. You know? This is something we've never encountered in any community. Ever. Especially from the law enforcement body. We've heard about friendships. We've heard about sideways stuff. We knew going in here, we had already heard about Gallatin as well as Sumner. We already heard about it, remember? And I kept saying, no, that's not true. I hear that everywhere I go. I hear that everywhere I go. I could have been their best rooter. Hey, Cheeky Chops. What's for dinner? Oh, I didn't eat. I had for lunch, I had Salem's fried shrimp, and I didn't make anything for dinner. I had cheesecake. I need to quit eating sweets. I'm going to start blowing up. Good old boy system. Yeah. Well, I don't like dogging on law because it's not the beat cops, it's not the men and women of blue I have a problem with. It's top brass. You guys know that. It's top brass. There's a chain of command, and we know this like the back of our hand. Delilah had some cheesecake too, but shh, don't tell anybody. I wouldn't want anybody saying I'm abusing my dog or anything, because she sure was happy after she licked my fingers. I'm just saying. She didn't seem like she was upset. I've been telling y'all, some folks high rank in this LE that's over this case is dirty. Yeah. Well, the proof is starting to be in the pudding, because whether they like people or not, or they think people are obnoxious or loud or whatever, they can't stop that. I don't know what these people are actually thinking. And if law enforcement doesn't even know the simple concepts of the freaking Constitution, what in the hell are they doing saying they're going to protect it? Just saying. This is making law enforcement look terrible. Absolutely terrible. And I really pray to God that they get this under control, because let's face it, they look like they're working for people that were the last people to have seen or saw a boy before he disappeared. And there's no evidence that this boy walked out of his home. They better start really looking at how this looks to the world, not in their little echo chamber. Maybe they don't give a crap. Maybe they don't care about the boy. We definitely know they don't care about the boy's biological father. That absolutely had nothing to do with it. Why? Because the father is angry with them for not keeping him in the loop. Because he's a father of a missing boy, and nothing is working, and he's at his wit's end. Sometimes, and it's horrible to say this, I wish those law enforcement were in Seth's shoes. I guarantee their attitude would be 10 times worse. But they're not. And they're treating this father like pure shit. Shame on them. Shame on them. Where's the accountability? They are civil servants that get paid by the taxpayers. They work for you. $1 of federal funds, they work for we. So I'm really upset about this new revelation. I pray to God whatever is going on is resolved by Thursday, so Nick is not having to, have his constitutional rights violated. I refuse to have mine violated. They can take me to jail. I'm sorry. There's just some things worth fighting for, and our Constitution is one of those. I will not lay down. I will not back off. I'm a political activist and advocate, and they violated my rights. So I want to get through this as quickly as possible, and I want them to right the wrong. If they can, you know? If they're real law enforcement, an apology goes a long way. Because what she did was dirty, and it's wrong, and here we go again. You cannot shut the entire world up. You cannot take every single person's voice away. You cannot act like frickin' Hitler in a small county and think it's not going to get out of your small county. You got to understand that social media is worldwide, not local. And when you start poking the bear of one, then you start poking the bear of another national figure like Dog the Bounty Hunter. It is not a good look. How many more people are you going to try to shut up before this election season? Should I wait for the knock at the door for the law enforcement to come handcuff me again? Because I won't shut up? Misty says, the way CP and TB have threatened, bullied, manipulated the random searchers, SETH, YouTubers, and many different professionals groups told me everything I needed to know to figure out dirty cops are involved, in my opinion. Just saying. Thank you, Misty, for your comment. God bless you. I hope your mommy's doing well. I haven't talked to you in a little minute. Doesn't sound like unicorn, you're in here. I gotta tell you something. On a side note, unicorn, remember that note you gave me that was filled with a whole bunch of fucks? Excuse my language, it's a true statement. It had the words spelled out. Well, I hadn't seen it in a while, and I was cleaning the office cups, trying to do the live from the office because I wanted to use my sound card. Today would be a great sound card day, right? Right? And do, right? So I was trying to get it all set up. And so all of a sudden, I see the dog walking and playing with this plastic bag. And I'm like, what do you have? I'm like, give it to me. She's no. You know, she's trying to back up. I'm like, drop the damn bag, right? So she, right, and spits the bag out. It was the bag of fucks. Just thought I'd brighten your day. So apparently I gave several fucks today, okay? Excuse my language to all my pastors. Please don't mind. It really was, it's kind of hard to not say what was written out in plain English. I'm just saying. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. Pray for me. So I just thought it was one of those give an F days, okay? I won't say it anymore, okay? I already probably owe the cuss jar like $100 already in this live. But I thought it was funny because even the dog knew where this was going. Just saying. And you know what? She's just a puppy and clearly a little bit pretty smart. Pretty smart. She was trying to make me give you know what. You can't shut everyone up. Yeah, you can't. You can't. And it's starting to seem like they just want to shut everybody down. You can't do that. I mean, maybe they've been able to pull this stuff off in their small little community before, but this is bigger than them at this point. It's bigger than them. And what they are doing to people is wrong. Because at the end of the day, we have a right to follow this case. We have a right to investigate this case. We have a right to do whatever it is that we do. We're not interfering with law enforcement. They don't have to watch. Let me be very clear. These are YouTube platforms. If you choose to come over, don't scream you're being harassed or stalked. If you're stupid enough to watch something you don't like, then you're stupid enough to deal with it. Okay? That's just how it rolls. It's just how it rolls. I'm really disappointed, though, that that this is going on. And I just think everybody needs to be praying for Nick and make sure that he gets his voice back, you know? And we need to be passing around this case. You know, we need to make sure people awareness, like Silver on the Scene says, you know, it's all about awareness. It's all about Sebastian Rogers. We've got so many people that are trying to throw monkey wrenches into this. Why? I don't know. I really don't care. And if the law enforcement that's handling this case ain't smart enough to rise above it, I don't know what to do to help them. Okay? We're going to continue to move forward. I know that the batting average on this channel is pretty stinking good. And so what we need to do is we need to get our butts out there and find Sebastian. Because the sooner he comes home, the sooner we can shut this nonsense down. Right? So he needs to come home. First priority, we've got to find Sebastian. We need to start thinking outside the box. We need to start identifying areas. Guys, we need to put this together and get this done. I know he is out there. And I absolutely believe, and 95% certainty, he is in Sumner County somewhere. Somewhere in that county, that boy is at. I don't think he was taken over to North Carolina, Georgia, or anything. I think that boy is right there in that county. There's $100,000. We need to get our butts out there. We need to get our butts working. For people that are out there that have their boats, sonar, get yourself into the bodies of water. Go under the bridges. Make several passes. Make sure we're not missing anything. The sooner we can get these areas clear, the sooner we can get the underneath of these bridges cleared, the better understanding we have on what we still need to do. He's there somewhere. We shouldn't have to wait 20 years to find him. There is $100,000 on the table. Somebody is going to stumble across this boy. It could be you. We will not be silenced. We are Sebastian's army. We are Sebastian strong. Thank you forever, Nikki's mom. Sometimes I just wish these law enforcement officers would reach out to other families of autistic children, because that's how I learned about this. That's how I learned that this child would have never walked out of that house without his shoes on. We learned that. Why is that not a pivotal moment? Why isn't that not a pivotal talking point? We know that he left with nothing. One thing I found out that was most common with every autistic child, the only thing that even come close to being resembled from one child to the other, because it wasn't their tics, it wasn't their meltdowns, it wasn't whether they're verbal or nonverbal, it is the video games. That is the one thing that if I had to put my money on it was common between all of the autistic children, the majority of the autistic children that the families reached out to me on, the video games. Whatever the video games does to autistic children, it keeps them calm, it soothes them, it keeps them engaged. That's the one thing. Yet this child left without his video game. That's his whoopee. That's his lifeline in the sense of autism. Left without shoes? No jacket? No food? Didn't steal money out of mommy and daddy's wallet? Doesn't like bugs, dirt, or swampy water? Or loud sounds? The list goes on and on and on. You can see people going into the house if somebody were to break in, but you can't see a 15-year-old boy walk out. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But it takes evidence. Right? It takes evidence. But no matter how much evidence comes knocking at law enforcement's door in Tennessee, until they have the boy, it doesn't matter what the evidence says. It doesn't. They will not charge on a nobody case. No matter what evidence they have. There's only been one case that I have been able to see that has been went through with no body, and the only reason why they chose to prosecute that case was because the person admitted doing something, but recant it. So they move forward with it anyways. Aw, thank you, Turtle Gang. It's nice to see you, my love. So it's super, super sad that we have a situation where you have two content creators trying to be silenced. One that was silenced. Me, I'm kind of half in, half out silenced, right? I'm letting people know that I'm trying to be very respectful, but I'm also letting everybody know you're not taking my rights away from me. Give me liberty or give me death. Is there a basement under the garage or around the... No, there's only a, like a loft. A loft. So, and that's over the garage, the main garage. I think he's close to the house. A lot of people do. A lot of people do. My son is autistic and he's always playing games on his game system. He also has sensory issue, loud noise, had to always have shoes on, and very picky about stuff. Exactly. That's what I'm kind of hearing. You know? Seth told us early on a very specific story. I mean, he told this story very, very early on. And I think it was on a news, or I can't remember where I saw it, but I remember seeing him say it, and it's before I knew Seth. And he said he was talking about a very specific incident that caused his son to put on his shoes. And he wasn't very picky about the shoes ever before until he stepped in an ant pile. And once he stepped into that ant pile and he got bit up by ants, he never left the house without shoes and socks on. A very specific event that triggered Sebastian from that point forward to always put on his shoes and socks before leaving the home. So why, if this is something he's done since he was a kid, now he's a teenager, why all of a sudden did all of these things that he has a habit? And if anybody knows autism, they don't change their habits. They're not spontaneous. They just don't stop putting on shoes. They just don't stop not having a thing for dirt or bugs. It just doesn't change like that in them. They're autistic. Their tics are their tics. You're talking about, in my opinion, a boy that would be having an utter meltdown in the middle of the night outside of a house. If all these factors were true. Yes, that was Seth that told it. I remember hearing him telling about his son. Yes. That's one of the first things that I'm like, so he doesn't not put on, you know. I remember thinking to myself, but that was when I was, you know, I'm still ignorant about autism, but I can tell you I'm a far cry from when we started this case. I felt like I was one of the most ignorant people when it came to autism or what autism is with a child. I mean, think about it. When I was talking about an overstimulating day, I was thinking that the child would be so exhausted, they would just like fall over and fall asleep because they were overstimulated, right? And then I'm learning, no, it's just the opposite. These children have sleep issues. They don't sleep well. You know, that overstimulation could cause meltdowns and aggression and a whole host of stuff. I had no clue. Again, very ignorant. I've learned a lot. And it's because I fielded, I got to tell you, over the last 7 months, if I said I fielded at least 1,000 emails from parents or family members or grandparents of autistic children, I don't think I'm selling it short at all, nor embellishing it. I've read a lot. I got to hear a lot of stories about people's beautiful children, how smart they were, you know, how much they love them. And of course, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, they people weren't, you know, bashful about some of the challenges it was raising an autistic child. Moreover, an autistic boy going through puberty. It's a very, very rough situation, not only for the parents, but also for the child. So we've learned so much about autistic children, autistic teenagers. There's something just that's not adding up here. And anybody that says that this stuff is not adding up, they try to arrest them. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting absolutely ridiculous. How many more? This is a stink this state's not going to be able to get off them. They keep acting like this. This is going to be something, that state, it's a stink that's not going to be able to come off that state. Because they're supposed to be a conservative state. And they're trying to cancel people and throw them in jail because they don't like their commentary. That doesn't sound very American to me. Doesn't sound very red, white, and blue to me. I don't know about the rest of you. But I'd say if you're in Tennessee, it's probably time to really take a hard, good look at some of these people and find out if they're the best for your communities. We are in an election season. Just saying. I know I meet with my politicians. I make sure that the people I'm putting a circle next to, I know and I understand their policies. I'm a political advocate in my own community. I fight for, veterans to have health care and housing. We fight against county corruption. We found over $500 million, $500 million sitting in a silo in our county that we ended up putting to use for our infrastructure. That was being hidden from us by our county commission, our prior board, while raising our taxes. People need to be getting involved with their community. People need to be getting involved with their politics. You need to be getting down to the county commissioner meetings, getting down to the planning meetings, and getting involved. You need to really understand where your politicians are and where their heart is at. Because you know what? When in my community, it doesn't come down to a paycheck. And it shouldn't come down to a paycheck. You should be finding the right politicians that do the right thing, not because it's the easy thing to do, but because it's the right thing to do. And uphold the damn Constitution. We'll see where this all goes. But I feel really bad. I hope Nick, Hong, Dog, don't give up. Don't let these animals win. Don't let them intimidate you. And sometimes if you need to make it big, sometimes you just got to sit your ass in jail. Just saying. God bless. Take care. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, don't be the trash of YouTube. And be kind to one another. Before we leave, let me go out here because we had some great stuff that came in. And I just want to thank everybody again. Mellycat for the one gifted membership. Spear Mystic. That's a tongue tire. Another Bullhorn Betty membership. Thank you. Billy B. Love you, Betty, from Australia. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Billy B. It's nice to see you. Kelsey. BHB, please remember the scripture, Ephesians 6:11. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's scheme. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nick, it's nice to see you. We have RT to go. Hi, wear body camera next time for your safety. Thank you, Lovebug. We've got Misty Fisher. The way CP and TB have threatened, bullied, manipulated the random searchers, SETH, YouTubers, and many different professional groups told me everything I need to know to figure out dirty cops are involved, in my opinion. Just saying. Ain't playing. Forever Nikki's mom. We will not be silenced. We are Sebastian's army. We are Sebastian strong. Thank you. And Turtle Gang. God bless you guys. Thank you all for being here this evening. We will be back. Hopefully I can get my sound card working. And I want my sound effects back. Otherwise, I'm going to put the MacBook computer back in there and not the new computer. And we're just going to have to, I want my sound effects. I'm just saying, okay? All right? Tell the darn machine to give it up. Just joking. All right, guys. I love you. God bless. Have an amazing evening, and we'll see each other again tomorrow. Yay! All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.